And good morning, everybody. My name is Vinny Maletti. This is the Maletti Law channel here on YouTube. Make sure you click on that box to subscribe. Make sure you go to the website, www.malettilaw.com, www.malettilaw.com. Sign up for that newsletter so we can stay connected, stay in touch. This video is just a quick overview of how to file and filing for a 1B trademark application. Very briefly, because I want to keep these things at a decent pace, just to give you all quick heads up on how we do it. All right, so you want to file for a trademark. Trademark means you want protection for your brand. Brand is something that is like a logo, a word mark, some kind of text, something that is symbolic and representative of your brand. So for instance, using my Maletti Law logo, this logo, every time you see this particular figurine, or every time you see Maletti Law, I want you to think of my brand of law. You know, raw, aggressive, to the point, very business oriented, really into getting into the nooks and crannies. Hence we got the gladiator here. So hence we got the Greek god, the bicep pose. So this is essentially like every trademark, right? A really good brand signifies something, and a trademark application is there to protect your brand, meaning to give it legal protection. Okay, so that's a very high level overview of how to explain it without going into the specifics. When you file for trademark protection, you file what's known as a 1A or a 1B. A 1A trademark is a trademark that's already being used. A 1B trademark is a trademark that you intend to be used in the future. So let's say I have not made this logo yet. Let's say I have not introduced this character into the economy yet, but I know I want to use Maletti Law and I know I want to use this gladiator. I would file for a 1B protection with the intent to use. What that does is the trademark office does their research. They determine if there's some kind of infringement, some kind of confusion, whatever the case is. If it passed the muster from the very beginning, the initial analysis, it goes into being filed, it goes into being registered as a 1B. Then once you use it in commerce, you file a statement of use, and that's how it becomes like legitimate. But today's video is just to discuss a 1B application, because that's where a lot of things start. 1B just means you're intending on using the trademark. So you come up with a great name, you come up with a great brand, a great logo, whatever the case is, and you determine what you want to use that brand or logo for. Do I want to use it for shirts? Do I want to use it for hats? Do I want to use it for plumbing supplies? Do I want to use it for my website, where I want to say that I'm an e-commerce retailer, like Amazon is an e-commerce retailer. Amazon doesn't have the same application for goods as they have for their services. So first you got to think how you want to use the trademark and where you want to use it. And that is one of the first analysis there. Another question is then also is not only how you want to use it, but in what classes you want to use it in. So we'll walk through all that. Let's just kind of go through real quickly. It all starts with diligence. So you do what's known as a due diligence. You look on Google, you search on the trademark application website, you see if anybody else is using your trademark. Because if somebody else is using your trademark, your application is going to be dinged for being confusing, and you're going to get rejected. Not good, not fun. That's where it gets expensive, because then what happens is your pride gets into play. You're like, hey, this is my brand and nobody else's, and then it becomes a fight. So we're going to move on from that. Don't worry about it. But do your diligence. That's step one. Step two, you go to the USPTO trademark office website. You click apply online, and you pick a T's trademark application, and you get it done. You start by identifying if you're an attorney and not. You start by identifying that you want to file for your T's Plus application. That's the name of the application, T's Plus. Okay, so going down the list, then you do your applicant information. This is where you do things like, who the owner of the mark is. You're the owner. What's your status? Are you an individual? Are you a corporation? Are you an LLC, etc.? What your home address is, your city, state, zip code, everything. Then it asks you for your email address, it asks you for your fax number, it asks you for any other contact information you may have. The last question it will ask you is for a website address that you're not going to likely now at a 1B stage. You're not going to fill that out because you probably don't have a website yet. So you're going to keep going on. Then you have to pick, then you identify the mark information. So the actual thing that you're trying to protect today is known as the mark. Sometimes it's a word mark. Mileti Law. Sometimes it's a special form trademark, the logo. So sometimes it's a sound mark, right? I don't know. Yeah, buddy. Something like that, right? Like we're Ronnie Coleman. Yeah, buddy. Maybe that's sound mark, right? So there's different types you could apply for. So keep that in mind what you want to protect. Usually at that point you have to add some kind of additional disclaimers if necessary. Let's say it's Mileti Law NYC. You'll probably have to do like a disclaimer that says, applicant disclaims NYC is not part of the trademark. Why? Because you cannot trademark NYC, because that's NYC. Okay, so moving forward, now you got to do, one of the things they're going to ask you is your basis for your filing. Like I had said, it was, your basis is going to be one of 4 items. It's going to be a 1A, a 1B, a 44D, and a 44E. 1A means you're actually using it now. 1B means you intend on using the trademark, the word mark, whatever. 44D means you have an application somewhere in another country overseas, and 44E means you have a registration overseas. So let's say I've applied for Mileti Law in Italy, and I want to also apply here. I would click that I had a 44D on it. If I'm registered for Mileti Law in Italy and I want to apply for it here, I would say 44E, and I would identify the registration from Italy. So you pick your basis. You also have to pick your international class, right? So every good in services has a corresponding international class. International class, I can't remember how many numbers there are. It's probably hundreds at this point. I don't even know. But they all identify something, right? So if you want, say, shirts, hats, pants, that's a class 25. If you want e-commerce online, that's a class 35, right? If you want, I don't know, motivational speaking, 45. Lawyer, 45, legal services, 45. So you pick your class, and you can only, so here's the trick of class. You can't, if you pick a lot of classes and you never wind up doing it, you just spent all that money, because it's $250 per class. So if you pick a lot of classes and you don't do it, then you throw the money in the garbage and you've wasted it. If you pick too few classes and you don't pay for the additional classes, you don't have protection in those other categories. So if I have a class, I like 25 because 25 has got a lot of things in it. That's clothing. So let's say I have a class 25 for shirts, right? I filed for class 25 for shirts, and then I never filed for hats, shoes, anything else. That's bad, because then now I can't protect, I don't have registration for my hats and shoes, but I have registration for my shirts. Okay, you can go to court, you can fight over it. You could probably win, not a big deal, but it's a process. You have to, and it's more money out of your pocket. So if you want to hit it correctly from the beginning, you pick what you want to pick. You apply for the proper classes that you want from the first time around, and then that's it. You modify as you go along. I would always, because I want to save money. So if money's not an issue, then obviously put as many classes as you want. Like I'm pretty sure Amazon, when Amazon files for a good, they basically do everything down the gamut. 0, 1 to 1,000, and they basically do everything, and they just pay, and then they let them go little by little. I don't do that. I don't have Amazon money. I would just do the ones that I know for sure that are in my head, and then as the business develops, then I would apply. I would come back around. So I know for a fact, let's say these Mileti Law shirts, I would do 25 for shirts, 25 for hats, and 25 for shorts. But I don't know. Let's say I want to have a pair of bicycle shoes with little locks on the bottom to lock into my pedals. Different class. I could do it at that point, but I can't get protection on it now, So that's really what it is. And then, you finish off essentially by, you identify, who the correspondence is going to. You identify the mailing address, the email address, the fax number, who's going to get the correspondence. You identify who are going to be additional correspondence, the CCs on it. You identify how many classes you want. You file your payment. Remember, it says $250 per class. So if you have 10 classes, that's $2,500. If you have 2 classes, it's $500. If you have 1 class, it's $250. And then finally, you have what's known as the declaration. In the declaration, you just kind of like, you attest, meaning I attest to what I've done, what I understand, what I know, that this is all I attest that this is all true to the best of my knowledge. I sign on my name, I put my date, I sign on my position as owner and a phone number for them to reach me, And that's it. I submit my application. I kick it out. And that's a 1B application in a nutshell. At some point after you do your 1B application, they will review it. They'll let you know if it's acceptable. They'll say, okay, you don't run into any issues. So now let's use a statement of use. Let me see the statement of use. You pay your money. You file your statement of use. You send them a specimen, which will be for another video. And then that's it from there. And then it just takes time. You could go right away 1A, but what I find is that a lot of people don't really know what they want to do. And then what happens is they wind up fighting, their pride gets in the way. They settle one day, they go, okay, I really want Milady Law, right? And then they file it on a 1A, and then they say, I'm going to put this in commerce. And then it comes out that it's, there's somebody in, I don't know, Florida in the middle of nowhere in the boondocks that uses a 1A. Uses Milady Law, and you're like, well, that's not good. So what do you do at that point? Do you just wash away the brand, or do you fight? And then what I find is, because most business owners are A-types, they will fight it out. But, they won't want to fight it when the bill comes, and it winds up costing, $25,000 to have this dispute. And then sometimes you have to pay for it for somebody, and they don't like that. So, use your common sense, right? So I think it's better just going with a soft hand, going in more strategically, outline first that the brand is acceptable, and then second, start putting in your statement of uses, start putting how you want to use it during this time, let the brand take itself over and determine how you want to use it, and then that's what you file. So that's my take on it. This is my advice on it. So if you're looking to do a 1A, if you're looking to do a 1B application for a trademark, I obviously would rather you use the firm. But this video should get you on a good basis if you want to try it yourself. I do offer training videos. These training videos are definitely, they're priced accordingly based on what you need to do. They're typically $199 per video. The videos are essentially walkthroughs for you. And they essentially will just they'll tell you everything from A to Z on how to do everything and how to apply for everything. If you're a business owner, if you're an aggressive business owner, you want to, this is something that you want to do. Let's say you want to build a great brand, and you want a good training video for people internally. I'd obviously suggest purchase the video. The video is $199. And that's it, really. You can use as many times as you want. We have a lot of videos that we offer. I just haven't put them up on the website yet because I'm just trying to find time to make everything happen. So, but we have a lot of videos. That's one of the videos we have to offer. All the videos are priced accordingly based on, the complexity and what's needed. Generally, little knock-around videos. Generally the easier videos are $199. The harder videos are going to be $399 because they have more important information, not confidential, but more like specialized information. But all the prices are listed. If you need anything, let me know. I'm here. Again, subscribe, email, join the newsletter, make comments in the video below, and hope all is well. Laws and laws, love and lifts. Strongest name of law, any Milady. Have a beautiful day.